so fast, and I'm gonna take you traveling the world. But I can love you. Yeah, I'm gonna love you. I'll give you all of what I've got. The fancy finds, baby, I have not. Just gonna love you. Yeah, I'm gonna love you.
If this is the first time that you've been to one of my videos, my name's Michael Taylor and this is 64 Motorsport. Normally at the beginning of the video you'd have a, wow, this is what this video is about sort of thing. I've been scratching my head for the last week as I've been filming everything, trying to work out what am I going to call it. Hopefully by the time I get to the editing table I'll have some ideas. But anyway, let's get the camera back up onto the tripod. I'll get some more footage of stripping this thing down and then we'll go from there. Really common problem on the E46 is the rubber strip on that wiper cowl breaks down and cracks and disintegrates, and my E46 is no different. It's stuffed. So I'm going to have to replace that, so I might as well take it off now while I'm doing the rest of the stuff. I thought I'd kept my E46 pretty clean while I was driving it, but as soon as I took off that windscreen cowl, I realised how much dirt, debris and leaf matter was sitting around the bottom of the windscreen. Grab the vacuum cleaner out, give that a tidy up.
Just another sunny day in Southern California.
Label, label, label. Don't just rely on photos and think, oh yeah, I can remember where that goes. There are so many clips for various sensors, camshaft position sensors, Vanos sensors, oil temp sensors, oil pressure sensors, all this sort of thing. So I'm labeling everything to make reinstallation that much easier. Hold on, this isn't the best camera angle. I should have been thinking when I positioned the camera to get these shots. Basically what I'm trying to do is get the sound insulation material out, and I was too lazy to put the car up on the jack stands to be able to do it from underneath the car. So that's what I'm trying to do, but I did get it out, and that's the last of the sound insulation material out from underneath the E46. Now I'm working at the back of the car. I'm sort of fighting around underneath, getting prepped to rip out the rear subframe and diff assembly, and that's all in preparation for installing a subframe reinforcement kit, which I got from ECS Tuning, and it's the Turner Motorsport kit. Now I chose that one because it's a quality product. I've done a bit of research and it covers off on all the bases in terms of reinforcing the rear subframe assembly to prevent cracking. Now, when I did the initial cleanup, I did a really good inspection around the mounts and where you would traditionally find some fatiguing and some cracking, and there's no signs of it. So this is more a process in terms of preventative maintenance rather than fixing a problem that already exists. So that's the reason behind it. But moving to the back of the car, and hopefully we can get a good look at this. All the sound insulation is now out, and I've left the spare wheel in for now because I'm running out of space. But the wiring, it's all labelled as per everywhere else. There's CD stacker. That whole assembly I'm going to rip out. All the sound insulation's off from the boot lid because, as I say, I'm going to have to replace it. I don't know if you'll pick it up on the camera, but just in here there's a crease in the boot, and that was the result of a rear end accident, so that needs to be replaced. It's easier to replace it rather than trying to pull the creases out. So once I get the rear bumper assembly off, I'll then pull the trunk lid off, find somewhere to store it, because as you can see in the background, my garage is now chock-a-block. Next week I'm going to have to start getting all that reorganised so that I've got some space. The other thing too I've got to get out is the fuel tank, but I've got no idea how much petrol's in it. That's going to be a bit of a mission, but I'll get the subframe out first and then I'll get the fuel tank out. The rest of the project for this video, I guess, is get that rear bumper bar off, get the boot lid off, and then probably start disconnecting brake cables in preparation for getting the rear subframe out. Thanks to that rear end accident, some of the brackets and clips that secure the bumper to the car had broken. I had to do a bit of looking around to work out what I needed to disconnect and where I needed to unbolt things in order to be able to get the bumper off. So once I got that sorted out, it was just a matter of removing those two securing bolts that hold the bumper to the car at the rear bumper shock absorber connectors or brackets then on the right to lift the bumper out. Generally what I've been doing is bagging and tagging everything, but I came across this tip where you can get these storage trays and you can pick these up either on Amazon or at your local hardware store. So all my nuts and bolts and rubber grommets I've put into here and then just label it on the top. It also secures really easy. I chose a reasonable quality one because I've noticed some of them, the dividers don't sit flush with the bottom, so any washers and that will tend to slide from one compartment to the next one. So I'm really pleased that I've got all that stuff out. Now all I've got to do is get it all organised. The other thing I desperately have to do is I'm probably going to have to go do a trip to the hardware store, get a few more storage bins. I've got everything labelled and ready to go. It's just a matter of storing it and stacking it out of the way to give me some more room. But next week I've got a heap of work to do on the X5. So hopefully by about Wednesday the new oil cooler should have arrived for the X5, so I can get on with installing that. Monday and Tuesday probably I'm going to work on getting the shocks replaced on the X5 and all the rear subframe bushes replaced as well. So that's a big job, and yes, I'll be doing a video on that. The other thing I want to touch on as well is 5 Minute Fridays. If you're new to the channel or if you're a regular subscriber and you haven't noticed, about a month ago I started a new segment on the channel and it started off as 2 Minute Thursdays, which is now extended to 5 Minute Fridays. So every Friday I've got a short, sharp, quick video talking about E46 maintenance, performance upgrades and tips and tricks for working on your car. So if you haven't caught up on that, I'll put a link to a playlist above, so check that out. But also I've got a new video coming out on 5 Minute Fridays this Friday. Keep an eye out for that one. I'm really excited about that one because it's going to be a really hot topic and something you E46 owners are really going to be interested in, so keep an eye out for that. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button, and if you'd like to see more content on E46 maintenance, DIY projects, performance upgrades, and to keep following the, I guess, rebuild of my Supercharged E46 325Ci coupe, consider subscribing and don't forget to ring the bell, and that way you'll get a notification every time I upload a new video. But as always, I've really enjoyed your company. Thank you very much for watching. I enjoy reading your comments, so keep them coming. But until we meet again, look after yourselves, stay safe, and TTFN.